Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be telling you guys what is it like to work in the hospital. If you never worked in the hospital before, if you're thinking about it, if you're curious, you don't have to work in the hospital. You can probably just be like, I wonder what staff do up in there. I'll let you know. So let's get right into it. So I have worked in 3 different hospitals. I had different experiences in all 3 of them. I am not, you know what, let me go and say this first, y'all. So you'll like sooner or later through these videos, you'll probably learn that I'm not a religious person. I'm more spiritual. I'm not like the big fan. I'm not a fan of hospitals, but we need them. I just don't like medicine. So like I don't know why I even applied to work in these hospitals, but I wanted to know if I can get them, and I got the jobs pretty easily. But they wasn't really easy. I was qualified. So I did a video talking about like how to prepare for like an interview in the hospital, which I did. I still enjoyed my time working there. It was very new, but I was definitely surprised by some stuff that happened. I didn't. I think you get surprised in every job you do. So let's start with what's the atmosphere for like a staff working in there, and it also depends on what job you had. So I'm going to first talk about my nutrition job, and I'm also going to be telling you guys some stuff I've seen. I don't really care because I'm like, I don't work there no more. I don't work there no more. I'm not even saying the hospital it is either. So ain't nobody getting me. I ain't saying no names or nothing with like HIPAA violations. So yeah, the first hospital I worked at, I was a nutrition ambassador. So I was in charge of delivering food to patients. I was in charge of like stocking orders in the hospital. We stocked the entire hospital, y'all. And I worked part time because I was on campus, and so I would do like just like 4 hours, sometimes like a full 12 hours if somebody need their shift covered in the morning, if I was available. And on the weekend we'll do like a full shift, which would be like 7 to 7. I think that's 12 hours. It'd be like 7 to like 3, not like you could do overtime if you want. But yeah, so we would do that and we would stock the food, but the main thing is delivering food to patients. So if you're working in the hot like nutrition part, I was nervous the first time. Because I didn't know like how to like, well, I got it 100% got it down the second day. I was a pro the third day, and I stayed there 6 months until I had to move off campus. So I got like learned a lot about patients, because you see a lot of patients and they stay there for like a while. Met very rude patients, which you always do. My staff members, my coworkers were very nice, and they were very friendly because they was all college students. So that's the good thing about working part-time. All the part-time girls worked in college. Well, they was all in college and they went to my school. So that was one perk I had. So I was comfortable with those girls. I definitely overworked myself because, when you work, you take shifts, but like in the hospital, y'all, it's so stressful. It's so much stuff moving. All you hear is noise and people screaming in sometimes, depending on the situation. Then you hear codes come in, cold blue. That means somebody like heart stopped. There's just so much code pink. So much is going on. I had to get used to that, y'all, because they happen every single day. That's what you hear. You hear codes and you see people running. It's normal for them. It wasn't normal for me because that was my first time working in the hospital. I was like, oh, and I didn't, if it was somebody on my floor, because they'll say the number, I would be like, yeah, I'll just stay back and wait because you don't know what's happening up there. They'll probably most likely stop you too, like, because I was delivering food. They'll like, you'll keep going. It's so funny when like the nutrition, because you just keep doing your job. Everybody keep doing their job. Everybody laughing like it ain't nothing. That's what I learned too in the hospital. If somebody passed away, rest in peace. If something like codes, anything's happening, everybody else is just like, it's mind blowing how nothing changes. People pass away, they're taking out a body, and everybody like still laughing. And I'm just like, what? Nobody see this? And the thing that you have to learn is that it's normal. It's normal to see bodies come and go. It's normal to hear the codes. So you got to get used to all the noise, and it's a lot of noise, and it's some sad stuff you'll see up in there, because I'm a low weak person. So like the tears be coming down when I see stuff like that, because I've never seen like a body bag before. So I had to get used to that. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. Working in nutrition, you would be surprised by how much stuff you see. I didn't think that was like, I knew I would deliver food. I I did, and the worst part of it all is that I started work during COVID, so it was even worse. Thank God we didn't have like, you didn't have guests weren't like allowed in the rooms and on the floors or in the hospital really, so it wasn't crowded. But like you had to get used to a lot of death when you see body bags and like it's dark, y'all. I walked up to the hospital because the good thing is that my campus was right there, and I just walked through my campus and like up the street and like legit walk right up there. It's right in front of my campus, so that's the good thing. The scariest thing I seen with like involving bodies was them bringing out bodies to like is it the morgue car, the van, when the people who come collect the bodies, those people, because it was not a big hospital, so they don't have a morgue at the one I worked at, so they had people come collect the body. So I still remember this, y'all. I was walking up to work, and it was like, that's when daylight saving time changed. So it's like 6:30. I'm walking up there, it's pitch black. And I'm the only one on the road, and I'm walking up there. I crossed the street to get to the hospital, and the emergency room is the first part you see. And I saw that black truck, and I saw them carrying out like 2 bodies. I was like, oh my God. I was traumatized, y'all. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. I was like, oh my God, that's like really sad. That's so sad, and it's scary to know what's up in there. It's sad because it was during COVID, so most likely that's what happened. But you know, it's a hospital, so you never know. But it's just really sad when you see stuff like that. It really makes you think like that really changed my life. You really start putting in perspective that life is very too short, like really too short. Also with that, since I was in nutrition, I met a lot of people. A lot of people leave because there was a lot of older people that was on my floor I had. And like a lot of people you'll see and then you don't see them again because they most likely, like they probably, I keep on saying most likely, like I'm not trying to say like most likely like everybody passes away, but I'm talking about like the older people you'll see, which you know they're going to pass away. When you see the DNR sign, did not resuscitate, and it's so sad because you bring them food and they laughing with you, and then the next day they got the dove on there, the dove or the purple dove on the door, which means they passed away, and it's really sad because you gotta get used. It might be weird when I say this, y'all, but you gotta get used to smells. Look, y'all, I have horrible reflexes, and I'm not used to certain smells, and you smell a lot of stuff. It's a hospital, what you expect? I know, right? I'm going to tell you guys, the most disgusting, I'm going to say disgusting, the most disgusting smell I've ever smelt was because I was in nutrition, was actually 2 things. So one, when I was in nutrition, I had to go pick up the food, and I'm not even talking about I'm not even talking about like the old food, y'all. When we go to the soil room and pick up the stuff, it's the soil room itself, y'all. The soil room is where they throw everything, the dirty stuff. People think about like the women's center, women who like give birth, all the towels and stuff, the blood, everything goes up in there until people like us, when I had to come collect it. Then you got the people who clean, who come collect the stuff. When they put the trays up, they'll put it in that room. So I always have to go in those rooms, guys. Though I still remember this. I'm going to say what floor. Y'all don't know what hospital I'm talking about. The 4th floor. That's all I'm going to say. That floor was gastric. Guys, the smell up in there was so utterly like disgusting. I was like gagging every time I went in there. It's the gastric. All I know is gas and stomach and bypass. That's all I know what they do up there. I think it was the 3rd floor actually, because that was like orthopedics on 4th, so 3rd floor. That's the floor I always worked, and I kind of liked working that floor, not because of that, because of the people. It's very simple for me because people, the other girls used to hate it because the patients were very rude, but I kind of liked it because I like a challenge. But yeah, the smells on those floors, y'all, and everybody goes in their room, nurses, because they had to like get stuff out, put stuff in. The smells. That's all I'm gonna say. The smells. So the next thing is the people. You meet a lot of people, and you're gonna deal with angry and rude patients, y'all. My rudest patient was this lady, and she was so disrespectful. Even when I came in, I was like, knock, 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 nutrition. I got your food for you. I'm really professional, and she wasn't even like she wasn't even old. She was looked like she was like in her 40s or 50s, and she was just on her bed on her phone, had a stank face already with her glasses on. And I was like, okay, okay, leave you alone. So I'll just set it up here. I have a way when I go in there. I set up things for them because a lot of people on that floor is elderly unless they move them when they run out of bed when they're running out of beds. So I was nice and I was like putting her foot up there and she was like, no, right here. And I was like, okay, girl. And I had to move the little tray to go because it was stuck under the bed. So I had to just flip it just to make it so it's comfortable in front of her. And she said, no. She screamed, no, like this. And then took her whole body. This little old white woman, y'all. Not old, but like mid-aged white woman. And she pushed the whole thing across the room. And I said, you know what? Because you got to keep your composure, y'all. I said out loud, I said, I ain't got time for this. I walked out that room. I ain't even help her. I said, forget this. And I was like, I got off that floor because she was my last patient. I got off that floor and I left. I said, you know what? I don't know. No, not today. You know the funny thing about this, y'all? That same morning, because that was like night shift. That was dinner time. I was giving her dinner. This was that morning because I had to come up there for my training, a training class. Y'all, that morning, I just had my anger management training. When I tell you all of that went out the head, didn't think about nothing. I was like, girl, bye, I ain't got time for this. So you gotta put up with a lot of stuff. I'm impatient, so I'm like, you know what, if you're gonna be rude to me, whatever. But I don't do that. That was just like, it came out like that because that's the first time that ever happened to me. I was like, did she really just like throw her tray across the room? She can get it herself, and I saw her get up and get it after I was done. She could have easily just said, leave it over there and I'll move it. That's all she had to say. But she be having real people who be entitled, who don't even need to be up in here because she didn't look like she had nothing wrong with her. So you got entitled people who want to be rude to the staff, who trying to help them. And I'm not trying to be rude, but you know how they always say, don't mess with people who mess with your food? Seriously, that's true. It ain't like we do anything to it, but I'm like, that's like, don't be rude to the people who's serving you. That's what I'm saying. God. Y'all, you meet some really nice people. It's not all bad working in the hospital. You go to help people. That's the point. But if you're not a people person, you don't need to be in a hospital. I am a people's person. You wouldn't think, but I'm a people's person. I learn fast, but there's just some things, and I need to tell y'all the most disgusting thing, which I forgot, which I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. I'm a people person, but till a certain point, okay? So I don't think I'm cut out for a hospital, but I found out because who would have known? I just thought I wanted to see if I can do it and I could. So there we go. So y'all, I'm only going to tell you guys the most disgusting thing I've ever done. It's normal and it's so funny because it's so normal because this is what a PCT does. I quit being a PCT after cleaning somebody. It's not embarrassing because a lot of people can't do it. In the patient care tech, you know, like I said, you clean them, you have to wipe them. And it was I only did it one time. And after that day, I said, nope. I went to talk to her after that because I was in my training. And I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. And I felt bad. I was like really nice. And I was like, yeah, this just isn't for me. But it was a great experience. I was like, I gotta go. When she understood, I was just like, nope. I'm sorry. I did it though. I was like, I had to, when the guy who was showing me how to do it, he was like, yeah, just get up in there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, get me out of here. I was like, get me out of here. I'm sorry. I just can't with like the smells and oh my God. Like, and it's sad. It's so sad too because you know, older people, like elderly. And it's sad because it's like, it's normal. They need help. So you got people like me being goofy over here, but people actually need help, and you have people who do that. So like I say, respect to PCTs because I can't do it, and I don't want nobody to have to do that for me. Even though when I get old, I'm planning on getting it more in shape so I don't have to do it. I don't want nobody to do that for me. But unfortunately, you know, when we get old, yeah, somebody have to. So always say, you know, be respectful because I was very respectful in that room. I was nice and I held her up and I cleaned her up. But after that, after I left, I was just like, okay. After just that, and it was a lot. It just wasn't for me. So yeah. that was the worst thing I've done in the hospital, so, as a PCT. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. It's not like, it's how, like I always say, it's different depending on what department you work in. You got like supply, who they just stock everything up. CNAs, I was like certified nurses. PCTs, they're not certified. That's why I got a job. I'm like, y'all let me come up in here. You got nutrition, you got the people who work at the desk, which is what I should have did. Not the information desk, because that's too much too. Too much information for not enough pay, y'all. $11. I'm sorry, what time are we in? It's 2022. $11? They got me messed up. Especially for all that work. I'm like, y'all ain't paying me nothing for this. Like, what the hell was this? That's what I was thinking. I said, yep, deuces. That's why I quit the IA job. I'm talking about, they don't pay enough. That's why I said I have to go into business for myself when I'm trying to blog and do YouTube and other stuff and podcasts, because I don't think I'm cut out to work for anybody. I just want to work for myself. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next video. Deuces. Bye.